How's it going? Pumpkin here. Today I'd like to bring you a new control deck that I've been working on. My last video, we went over a control deck that I was playing on PTR. Now that I've had a few days to play on live Gwent, I've kind of altered the list in some ways, and I found this list to be working a lot better. So if you notice right off the bat, there's a lot less golds. There is the triple Witcher and Roach, but if you take those golds out, you're looking at Prince Vellum, Dragon, Shiru, and Scorch. You're looking at 4 gold cards, and Prince Vellum has the effect of play a random gold card from your deck. So technically, you're really only playing 3 gold cards, and you're playing Prince for consistency to find your other gold cards. What I found is round 1, all you need is control cards and Witchers and Roach as your finisher. And then round 3, because round 2, you're generally going to opt to play down to 7 cards and pass because a long round benefits you. So you preferably go into round 3 with 10 cards. And you can generally win the round with Shiru and Dragon with the help of Thunderbolt and Ethne for lining up. So general game plan with this deck, if you lose coin flip, so you're going first, you're going to be looking to, obviously you always want to win the round, but you want to look for a proactive play. So if you do lose coin, a lot of times I will open with an incinerating trap, just because it's something I can put on the board. If you do not have incinerating trap in your opening hand, I almost always play Witchers, and I play usually 2 more cards, whatever that may be. Thunder if they're playing large things, or some smaller units if I just need to put something on the board. And then I usually get out of the round at 7 cards in round 1. Ideally, you try to win the round. If they're not playing a lot of high tempo, you can keep pushing the round. But if they slam Witchers down and you're worried about getting out on +1 card, you should usually opt to pass early. If you win coin flip and you go second, you're at a huge advantage. The opposite now happens. So you never play your Witchers and Roach. Basically, they play a card, you interact with it, and you keep doing this the entire game. You want to save your Witchers and Roach to the very, very end of round 1, or whenever they pass, of course, to catch up, because it's a 16-point play plus however many ethne pings you have. So roughly 19 points, and potentially a little more if you have Master's Crafted Spear on the board. In round 1, I almost never, ever play Dragon, just because it's usually your round 3 win con with Shiru and Scorch. You don't necessarily need it, but I prefer to keep it. If it is the card that's going to win you the round in round 1, it is correct to play it, though. Don't use Shiru in round 1 ever. If you use Shiru in round 1, you're not winning the game, because your round 3, you're just... Shiru is how you win round 3. Feel free to use Scorch and Epidemic. If you see that you have an Epidemic in your hand in round 1, a lot of times I'll play Mastercrafted Spear, but I won't ping a card. So let's say my opponent plays a 4 strength unit. I'll play Mastercrafted Spear and pass, just because I don't want to lower their units down so that future 4 drops can't get Epidemicked. Right, so if he has a 4 and I ping it down to 3 and he plays another 4, well, I can't really Epidemic that anymore. I could ping the 4 down to 3, but I'm starting to lose value. So this is a list where I wouldn't suggest it for newer players because of cards like Epidemic and Scorch. You need to be hitting large numbers with them. I get Epidemics between 12 to 30 points. Yeah, so if you're new to the game, I would not suggest this deck. The other reason is you need to know what's coming. You need to know what your opponent's going to be playing. And you can generally figure out what they're going to be playing within like 1 to 2 cards plus their leader, because there aren't a wide variety of decks with each leader. There's a few, but for the most part, you can generally figure out what their deck is very early on. I'm just going to run through each of the cards and what their general use is. Scorch, destroy highest units. You're looking for a lot of value with this. You want to be using Ethne and Mastercrafted Spear. Mastercrafted Spear, ping a unit by 1. You get to do this every turn. You're looking for large value. That's it. Be very patient with this card. Shiru, very explosive effect. You can... I think my biggest Shiru is 40. I've hit 8 5s before. Basic idea, save Shiru for round 3. Save him to the very, very, very end. Use Thunderbolt Potion on him. Boost him to whatever ideal number is. So if you need a 5, you can boost him up to 6, and then use a Mastercrafted Spear or Ethne and ping him down to 5. And then you can go off. Dragon, it's immune. People ask why I play this card in the deck. Very simply, it's a big immune body. And that's very, very, very important in control matchups. Having immunity is massive because a lot of cards do interact with other cards. So if you're round 3, all you're doing is playing spells and an immune card, their opponent's cards that deal damage have no effect. Roach is just extra points for your Witchers. Epidemic, very similar to Scorch. These are cards that you want to be very patient with, and why it's also never correct to open with Witchers if you win coin flip and go second. Because if you open with Witchers, your odds of getting a nice Epidemic or Scorch drastically are lower. Witchers, very strong, very powerful, good finisher for round 1. Thunderbolt Potion. Sometimes I use these in round 1. You can use these to line up your Epidemics and Scorch. In round 3, generally I open Traps, Spears, Thunderbolts, because the idea is if they have Artifact removal, they remove the Spears first, and you need the Thunderbolts to stick on the board. If they remove both Spears and all your Thunderbolts, you're going to have a rough time, but the odds that your opponent plays 3+ Artifact removal is very unlikely. Do note, if you play against a Philevandrel deck, they play double Sapper and Ida, and potentially Frenzy Dow if they're going crazy with Artifact removal. So that's going to be one of your harder matchups. Alzur's Thunder, it's just good removal. Ping for 5. Prince Vellum. I play a random gold card from your deck. In old PTR, it could only play units, but they fixed him, so he can pull any gold card, which does mean Scorch. If you do choose to play a deck like this, I would highly, highly, highly suggest you screenshot the deck ahead of time, or just memorize it. Screenshotting is usually a little easier. You don't have to worry about the bottom cards, because the only cards that really matter in a deck are the top cards, your gold cards. Nice thing about this deck is you can actually fit it in one screenshot from here to here. And you just obviously know your leader's Ethne. Incinerating Trap. Play the card when it flips over after your opponent plays a unit. Pings by 5. It's a nice proactive play. It's very expensive. You could replace it with a unit, but I've been finding it to be okay. If they play an engine you need to remove, you can always play the Incinerating Trap, proc the order, flip it over, and kill a unit. Mastercrafted Spear, fantastic card with Epidemic and Scorch. It's proactive. It works well with Ethne. Works well with Shiru. Really, really strong card. Ryehead Sappers. I didn't originally have this in the deck, but because of mirror matches, a lot of times the winner, usually in a mirror matchup, it comes down to coin flip. Whoever wins coin flip wins the game, because whoever wins coin flip generally has last say in round 3, and whoever has last say in round 3 has control of the game in a control matchup, because you're only playing 2 units, Shiru and Dragon. But Sappers can remove your opponent Thunderbolt Potions, and that can be very, very important. So I've been running it. It's also a 4-point body, which is proactive in a mirror matchup, whereas all of the rest of my units are not proactive. They all rely on hitting another unit. So I think Sappers are good. Bowman, powerful unit. It's pings for 2, worst case, and it's a 3, so it's 5 for 5. If they play on the back row, you get 6 value. It's not bad. It can help you line up Epidemics and Scorches. Just pay attention. When you're playing units, you're making your Epidemic worse. So you'll notice in the following game that I have recorded, I actually opt to discard my Sapper and one of my other units because I don't want to mess up my Epidemic. I realized very quickly that my opponent is playing units that are all the same value, and getting value off my bronzes does absolutely nothing because it lowers my values on other cards like Scorch or Epidemic or Shiru. Well, not Shiru, but Scorch and Epidemic. So a lot of times in round 3, I will opt to discard my bronzes because they don't actually matter. They're only gonna negatively impact the game, not positively impact. I never do this in round 1, but in round 3, when you're looking for a nice Epi or Scorch, discarding your bronzes can be the correct line of play. For those of you who don't know how to discard, easiest way, click on the card that you want, click on the discard pile. Nice and simple. Right head officer, ping for 3. Very simple. BME, I like it, does 4 damage. Generally, I would prefer higher damage than lower bodies because if I have a high body with low damage, it means it's more for your opponent to interact with. So BME fits perfectly into the deck. It can mess up your epidemics, but because it is a small body at 1, what you can do is you can ping it off with your Ethne or Mastercrafted Spear. So you can have it on the board, and let's say they have 4 4s on the board or 4 5s on the board. Your round can start with pinging off your BME and then epidemicing, or Ethne ping your BME and then epidemicing. Just a side note, if you are wanting to play a control deck that's similar to this, but you are a little newer and you don't want to be playing cards like Epidemic or Scorch, this is another list that I've been playing. It removes the Epidemic and the Scorch aspect out of the deck, and it replaces it with Caretaker and Sea Hill. The reason I stopped playing this deck is because everybody was going crazy on artifact removal, and it just felt really bad. And the more people learn how to play around Sea Hill, the worse it's going to get. But if you want to play a Sea Hill variant of the deck, this is the one I've been playing. It's basically card for card the same. I have a Wolf Pack in there. Yeah, all the cards are the same. Sea Hill and Caretaker. Try to bait out artifact removal with Mastercrafted Spear and just slam your Sea Hill down. It's more of a... I mean, with this deck right here, if they don't actually remove Sea Hill, you're not even going to need Shiru. Sea Hill is basically a Sabbath where if they don't remove it, you just win the game. So you can try this variant out if you'd like. I prefer the other variant because it's more explosive because you can have higher swing turns with Epidemic and Scorch. And it's also a little bit more skill intensive because you have to think ahead of turns because you do need to get that value on Epidemic and Scorch. All right, let's get into some gameplay. 50-50 on Scorch. Did we win or lose coin? We won. Alright, let's go. Oh, it didn't switch boards. Where's my redhead? Ah, shit.
Here's our chance.
Quill, can you not play cards that are... Oh. Alright, he's got one more of those. I mean, I guess we drew Shiru, so that's all that matters. You lost against Adzakov? Yeah, and I beat him twice. So, I don't know. You want to update it? Why is Viper Witcher good? It's not good, it's just annoying.
I'll feed you to the crows.
Because it can throw away your win con and win you the game on the spot. What is this deck? Wait, do Viper Witchers reveal? Oh shit, they do.
Scrubbing duty again? Oh god.
Blaze it. That's fine.
Go Black Banner!
New orders? No? Ah.
What is this deck? Yeah, TA that. It's good.
Sure, no problem.
I'm getting out. I'm out. I'm done. I have no interest in playing this round because I refuse to play any of these cards. So if he has a 16 here, which is quite literally Witchers with Roach. Right, and you save Witchers towards the end because it's a lot of burst. Plus Ethne, it's a 19-point play. So he has to do 16 points here or go 2 cards down. Or pass on even, which is not ideal. Right? So this is if you win coin flip and go second with this deck, this is how you play it. You never play your Witchers, you just hold on to them. Unless of course they pass early. No reason to use any mulligans. We still have 2 left, I believe. 3, 6. We still have Scorch and Dragon in deck, which is what Prince is pulling. I keep this hand and we pass. We should be favored in a long round. How long are you streaming? Bit. You're tilting. What? The poor guy? What, Quillen Lance? I mean, he's playing a bad reveal deck. This should not be in your reveal deck. This card sucks. Guaranteed Dragon. Triple artifact, artifact removal, epidemic, thunder. We have everything we need. Yep, let's go.
Not much left of that word.
Why do you play Vesemir? Are you running Seahill? No. No Seahill. I don't like Seahill. It's not a good card.
We follow Letho's lead.
Oh, the high roll. Oh, I just lost 8 points. Change deck list. I put in Sappers. That's it. So we discarded Prince because my only gold card left in deck was the dragon that he rolled the 1/5. This card's so frustrating. I mean, it's a good card if you're gonna play Vesemir. I don't even know if Vesemir is correct. I mean, if you're playing Ciri too, it depends on how far he's going into the Witcher category.
Sometimes I've had it.
Okay, he's going pretty hard. We leave it alone. There's no reason to touch it. See if he has artifact removal. Why are you shooting Vesemir to 2? I'm killing it. Not counterproductive, it's at 4 and I'm not going to boost it. His Witchers come out at 5. So we want to keep pinging it. We want to kill it. It's not counterproductive. You just don't know what my line of play is.
Life is mine now.
Giving him Renew? I don't care. You realize Renew doesn't do anything. It just makes my value bigger. Right? Oh, okay. Epidemic? Yeah, my Epidemic is worse, but I'm assuming he's running damage. So he played Ox, he runs Serret, there's a good chance he runs Arbalest. He should always win this.
Yeah. Like, I can basically bank on him killing my shit. Why didn't you play Thunderbolt? I could have. He could play White Frost. I'm gonna play around White Frost. I don't know. I can feel the White Frost tech. I don't mind playing Thunder. There's nothing he could play that I'd be worried about other than Uma. Okay, Uma into Cock would worry me. That would suck. Even that's not that bad because I have Epidemic and Shiro. So even best case scenario, Uma Cock, I'd still be fine with that.
This could hurt.
Well, you do play artifact removal. Cheeky, cheeky. Don't ask. No questions.
Damn it.
Exclamation point deck. That's the deck right there.
Not your lucky day.
Fun and interactive. Some nice witchers you got. It'd be a shame.
All right.
I mean, you're just gonna make it look better now.